Elevation Nation, we have on a special guest for you today. When we go on someone's podcast, I think it's common courtesy. You got to ask them back on yours. But beyond just going on the 1% podcast with Shane, he also has turned into a friend and a mentor and someone I know Parker and I really look up to on his entrepreneurial journey, how he's kind of taken a leap into his new world of building financial freedom for himself, for his family, and really helping the lives of many of his employees as well. Shane Riggs, welcome to Elevation Nation, man. We are honored to finally have you on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. I think the last time that we connected on the 1% podcast, shout out to Vin, was a couple months ago, and it was beautiful. It's really rare to find good-hearted, well-rounded people that actually care about other people. And I think that's what you guys brought, especially with your podcast. So happy to be on here.
It's pretty crazy to hear that statement, Shane. Like, it is rare to find good-hearted people. Like, why do you think about that, like, that way? Let's start it off hot.
So first, I think I own a virtual assistant company, right? And predominantly my now 600 employees are from the Philippines. Their work ethic, they're traditional, meaning that most of them still live with their family. They're still very into faith. And I think all of that makes you really a wholehearted person. The people that I have interviewed to even work with on as far as like a younger demographic here, they feel entitled. Like they feel that they deserve something when they haven't worked up to something. And I feel that with technology, even though we can't escape it, and it's the realm that we're at right now, it's all about me and what can I do to improve myself. And this is distracting everything. So I think we're getting away from connection. We're getting away from, what we're put onto this earth, which is to how can I make other people's lives better? And so that's what I mean by wholehearted people. I think it's all about greed and what's best for me. So I didn't get that with you guys. I feel like you guys wear your hearts on your chests, on your shirts, on your sleeves, and it's really rare to find that in people.
Well, thank you. The feeling is obviously more than mutual, and I think it's one of the things that podcasting selfishly has helped, at least for me, I know Parker probably feels the same way, is to have that authentic connection with people, right? Parker and I started this podcast right around COVID when we were missing that authenticity. And then you go out into the real world. Parker and I both work in Big Four consulting. And as we've worked our way up, I think our true personalities have been able to shine. But I felt like when I first started, I had to be a completely different person because who Sam wasn't professional enough or polished enough. And so it's been really nice, I think, with the podcast and meeting people like yourself, again, to find those authentic human beings where it's not that only Shane can win or only Parker can win or only Sam can win. We all can win together, hopefully help each other grow and succeed and elevate and live the lives that we want while making the world a better place. And so Parker and I, and Shane, we've had a couple calls with you where we picked your brain on where we should take Elevation Nation. And I think even though we don't have a clear-cut business strategy that we are 100% behind yet, I actually think what we are really banking on is by being a good person, continuing to meet cool people, trying to make positive connections for them, helping where we can. The universe, faith, God, whatever you believe in, I truly think is going to all work out for us. And so I'm just very grateful that we got to meet you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I love the mission that you guys are on.
Well, we do too. We've been on this thing for a while, and there is no stop in us. But I mean, for Shane, for Elevation Nation, let's kick it off. Let's start with an elevator pitch, something we ask every single person who joins Elevation Nation. It only makes sense, right? Elevation Nation. Like, come on, let's hear it.
In there. So my elevator pitch is I help customers offset their tedious, mundane tasks with implementing a virtual assistant. And that's kind of been the name of the game for the last 6 years. The last 18 months, man, we have transitioned entirely with AI. So the automations that we're able to do. So now it's essentially combining AI tools with the human element. to not only take over those tedious, mundane tasks, but to get a company to where they want to be and they don't know how.
So walk
AI.
us.
Go ahead.
Oh,
I got so
I
many
was just
thoughts on
gonna
AI.
say. I mean, yeah, we could talk forever
here we
about
go.
AI.
Yeah.
AI is like top of everyone's mind. Everyone's trying to find the way to implement it in their own work, but also implement it in their own daily life. Whether you're young, you're old, it's the new thing. But before we jump into that, Shane, I do want to like uncover a little bit of how you even got into this company that you run and you're making such an impact with. Like, have you always been an entrepreneur? Were you in the corporate world? Like, what led you to this big venture that you're on?
That's always the starter question. I was a nobody. I actually worked for Verizon Wireless as a salesman, did very good. I loved the grind, I loved the chase. And, I ended up leaving that company because I thought my calling was culinary. So I went to culinary school. I ate my way through that, gained about 40 pounds, loved it. Worked for, an actual Michelin rated, they got their star. Unfortunately, the star's not there anymore. Winery, restaurant. And I decided I didn't want to work weekends. I didn't want to work every holiday. I didn't want to work 12-hour days and not start a family and become a degenerate alcoholic drug addict, which, kind of comes with it. Is it fun? Absolutely. Can you do it for a long term? No, I don't think so. At least I couldn't. While I was doing that, a buddy was starting a marketing company, and this was over a decade ago. He knew that I was really good at sales because we used to work together. So he said, "Hey, I'm starting this venture. You want to jump on with me?" I said, "Sure." Marketing was fun. It was the same exact element of sales. The problems that we had with marketing is that you weren't able to emulate a campaign. So if you had a plumber client and you had the same type of client 30, 40 miles away, those same campaigns wouldn't work. It would drive us crazy. So we were completely front end focused. How many clients can we bring to the table? And it was still turned into 50, 60, 70-hour work weeks. We did that for about 5 years. We got it up to about 50,000 a month, which is great because in a marketing company, it's all net profits, right? The only things that you have to pay for are employees. Other than that, if you know how to build landing pages, create the actual ad copy, do some graphic and video editing, you're good to go. So it was great, but it was constantly front end focus. We weren't able to scale. My business partner and I ended up splitting amicably. He's actually still my best friend. Shout out to Matt. And he's still doing his own thing. And I actually had one phone call a week later from a guy that I can't mention, even though I told him this story. And he said he was running a virtual assistant company. I was like, oh, interesting. What's that about? He was telling me all about it and how he was impacting all of these people's lives. And then he also mentioned, and remember, when you first start a company, you think differently. You think, how much money can I make? You're financially driven. He was telling me he was making $400,000 a month. I'm like, this guy? This guy is making this kind of money from a virtual assistant company? That day, I took just that phone call that we had for 15 minutes, took that whole idea and concept, and I said, if this guy can do it, I can definitely do it. And here I am 6 years later.
It's sometimes a shakeup in a good way or a bad way when you look and see how successful some other people are. And certainly there's financial success, there's family success, there's personal success. And Shane, what you're building with the VA group and have already built is certainly financially successful. And we could talk for hours, and we already have, about the business and the operations. But I want to go back to something that really stuck with me in your story you just shared and on our prior calls, which is, yeah, you want it to be successful. I'm doing air quotes for people that aren't watching on YouTube. You wanted to be successful, but success was more than just finances. You talk about this family that you've built, free time, new hobbies that you've maybe picked up. Now you get to cook for joy instead of grinding at a Michelin star restaurant. Talk to us a little bit about how starting this company and being financially, stable and VA Group has helped you live a life of success in other areas of your life.
So the biggest thing here is you change along. Obviously, as the days go by, you change. Your priorities change, and I learned pretty early on that to be success driven instead of financially driven, I had to adapt. So I actually focused inwards. I said, okay, and this is funny because now Alex Hermosi is talking about this, and Alex and I were actually, competitors in the marketing realm, and he was doing his gym stuff when he just had the mustache and was still massive as he always is. But it's funny that now he starts talking about this for the people, because this is really the case. If you focus on quality talent, right, that A talent, and you pay them well, right? Like we pay 3 times over minimum wage, health benefits, cell phone bill, 13 months pay. If you treat your employees that are great talent well, they'll never leave you. They'll break their back for you, right? My gift is I'm able to see things. And once I'm able to see things, I'm able to delegate properly, and I'm able to review things from reports and able to grow and leave it alone. Then I want to hire somebody who's smarter than me in that individual department and let them shine, give them the capabilities and tools, have them report back to me. And that's how we're able to get it to, over 600 people and an 8-figure agency. But there's a lot of failure that goes along the way when it comes to stuff like that. And that's really, in general, it's as old as time. Failure is the only true way to succeed. You have to see what you're doing wrong, and you have to learn how to overcome it. And then the next big thing is priorities. I've never made as much money as I have until I had my kids. My entire motivation, my will, everything transitioned until, I became a husband, and now I have my 2 little ones. It's just, you no longer want to be, striving just to be yourself or have this nice car or whatever the case may be, your goals and aspirations. For some reason, this internal hunger comes out the moment you have a family.
That's powerful. Shane, how many hours do you work a week now?
Oh gosh, you've been talking to Vin, haven't you? Okay, so for the VA group, I have a C-suite. I have a CIO, and I have 10 directors and 39 managers, and they overtake my entire company. I've been fortunate enough where I've been out of the company for almost 2 years now. Now I still work on the company and look at ways of improvements like the AI and the other tools, which I'm telling you, the stuff that we're building now, I'd love to talk about. You want to talk about some viral shit? I'll put some stuff out there for you of what we're building. But if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? So I'm doubling down on the VA group with things that are going to make the company succeed. So it's a double-edged sword. The company, it's a well-oiled machine, right? It's a Rolls Royce. I have the best team that is constantly doing there. We have low churn, and with the systems that we've already done for these last 6.5 years, it works great. Now, my time and attention mainly goes on the AI aspect. How can we make it better? How can we transition this into a SaaS?
So how many hours a week are you spending on work?
I would say for the last 2 months, and this is going to sound crazy because it hasn't been that case. For the last 2 months, I've been waking up at 6 a.m., honestly, and some nights I don't stop until 10 p.m. Some nights. Most nights I do 6 to 6. And
6
then
to 6.
Prior to those 2 months, 10 to 20 hours a week.
10 to 20 hours a week when you're not trying to innovate,
For
right?
2
I want to hit on I want to talk about that for a second, because I'm reading a book called The Sweaty Startup by Nick Huber. And I don't know if you know Nick or what he's done, but it's a great book. We'll send it your way on behalf of Elevation Nation. And
Cool.
It's getting me into the understand business in a whole new facet. And what I sense from you is that you said that you came from the restaurant industry, the marketing world, the sales world, where you're working 60, 70 hours a week. And you don't get really the choice to, unless you want to go on top of that, right? And now you're sitting here building a massive business, international business with 600 employees, and you're working 10, 20 hours a week. And in the first 10 pages, Nick talks about leverage. And the leverage that you have in the ability to live your life how you want is incredible. It's very, very high. And that is something that Sam and I have been talking about for years now, because we want to live a life where we can financially be secure, but also do the things that we want to do while acting as an operator, not an executor, an operator of a business, overseeing people, helping them drive the vision. And yet you can spend time with your kids, your family, go golf if you want, make up a huge meal for dinner that takes 3 hours. And so I'm just inspired because it's amazing to talk to someone who has actually put that into motion. Now I know the last 2 months have been busy because you're cooking up something new. How do you approach that? Like 10 to 20 hours a week is crazy.
You're not going to like the answer. And, I thought I was going to like the answer in theory. And for those of you that have been in my situation, have found true financial freedom, that's why I'm saying it's you're not gonna like it. So, and I've actually found that when I've actually podcasted with these people as well, who have exited who have exited their businesses, they lose their purpose, right? So you have a hunger inside you, right? And when you've built something and it actually turns out to be incredible, right? Money comes with it, possibly fame, whatever the case may be. The overwhelm is success. It comes with it. But then it's when it's done and you're no longer needed and the options come across the table where, do I sell it? Do I just continue, doing this and have my lifestyle? Now you start contemplating, what do I do with my time? And in theory, it sounds great because I love golf. I love spending time with my kids. But my true purpose is hunger. I want more. I'm never, ever settled, right? I know that sounds crazy, like for what I've already built and the things that I've been able to accomplish, it's not enough. I want more. All right, I'm 37. I'm not ready to retire. I'm not ready to, coach my son's t-ball. I'm not ready to become a full-time dad, right? And I hate to say it, but this is the God's honest truth. I'm hunger. I'm a builder. I'm a creator. I want more. And it's not the money. It's just the fact that I feel useless. The VA group is great. What I was able to accomplish and my team is phenomenal. Great. But those 2 years where you wake up whenever you want to wake up and you want to go play golf and you want to go do this, it gets boring after a month. Your purpose is gone. Your why is gone. Now, maybe that's, not the case for everybody, but I have this fuel inside that says, I'm not ready to quit yet. I'm not ready to go, be an alcoholic and be on my boat and fishing. I'm using that as a very poor example, but I want more.
I appreciate the honesty, first off, Shane, because I think a lot of people probably wouldn't say that. Parker and I, funny enough, we recorded a podcast episode, just us, the other day, talking about, I don't know if you saw Scotty Scheffler's press conference the other day around fulfillment. And so it resonates with us, and we started to get into it. And we've talked about this before on the podcast, where we say, is being an elevator a blessing or a curse? Because to your point, we've talked with many entrepreneurs who have, quote unquote, made it. And that's when they reach their depression. That's when they fall into these funks. They gain weight. They don't know what to do. And so I'm inspired that you have that hunger. A follow-up question I have for you is, how did you decide, I want to continue to innovate VA Group versus saying, I want to do another mini quest, right? Like whether that was going back, going to culinary school and just being like, I want to start a bakery, whatever it may be. Like, why did you pick what you already were successful with instead of something where really you were building from, scratch?
That's a great question. And I honestly was battling with that in my head for 2 years. And this is why coaches exist. Good coaches, vetted coaches exist. People that have been in a situation that you are currently in or are in or whatever have been, this is why you talk to people like that, so they can give you that advice. And it was very clear cut, plain and simple for the amount of money that I paid. And he said, what do you want? I said, I don't know. I've been battling with this. I don't know what I want to do next. What can I do next? My talents are this. I love doing all of that. Okay, well, here are your options. You can, ride the VA group as long as you think so. You can double down the VA group and, make it where it's not going to be replaced by AI. You can sell the company and focus on whatever it is that you want to do, more time with the family, stocks, investment portfolios, real estate, which I didn't want to do. You could build more businesses, right? So I love people. That's really what it comes down to. That's the main reason why I started the VA group. That's the main reason why I transitioned from success driven was people. I just had my birthday was yesterday, and my back end department created this whole video with how much I've impacted their lives this year. Whew, getting all emotional just talking about it. And yeah, they do this all the time, and you feel like you get used to it. But like how much it's changed them. I get like my CIO, she's looking for a house, and she got a new car that just came in, and it's just all these thankings and blessings. That truly changes you. I feel like I'm a people person. So instead of selling it and figuring it out, I'm doubling down. I'm making this company. I'm taking the people that built this company with me, as far as management side of this, and we're gonna double down. And we're transitioning this with with everything that's out there right now. It's probably the best answer I can give you.
So we'll give you the floor. Like, all right, let's nerd on to AI now. What is it that you're pumped out? Maybe one thing that you're pumped about building.
Okay. So those of you guys are out there, you ready for viral content? You really have to understand, because it's getting to a team. It's getting to a point where you're going to have to follow along with me. The past 6 months, I've hired front end and back end developers, and we have created what's called a web form prospecting system. As you know, people have contact form pages onto their website, right? Name, email, phone number, message. Those are all public information. Email, cold email, G Suite, Microsoft, they're trying to shut down cold email, right? So I have actually built a website scraping, verification, and contact form submission where I can now send up to 200,000 contact form submissions a day. So imagine an entirely new prospecting system for businesses where I can scrape the databases that they want. I can verify, meaning that they're still active and working, and I can send up to 200,000 contact forms with whatever message that they want and their contact information that they want out on a daily basis. That's one. I'm going to keep going. The next thing is we've built an internal LMS. An LMS is a language modeling system. So essentially, I am training all of my all of my virtual assistants internally how to use the latest and greatest AI tools, where now we can offer certifications. So people, which will essentially be creating our own recruitment company, people from the Philippines and from other third world countries will, one, be able to get certified on these different AI tools, two, be able to be a part of a company who is adapting this and who can assign them to a client. And then the overall goal for this is to sell it to corporations and enterprises to teach U.S. stateside employees the latest and greatest AI tools with replacing trainers. So we're building out a video avatar that'll essentially be able to train up to 150 screens at once how to use ChatGPT, Manus AI, Notebook LM, Gemini, GenSpark, whatever the case may be. So we could train the actual team, we could certify them, and we can manage everything. I'm not done yet. Then we have built, so as I mentioned, G Suite and Microsoft are eliminating BCCs. They're trying to eliminate the cold email outreach system. We have built an internal proprietary system where we can actually buy and purchase domains, attach up to 50 email accounts onto it, and essentially still follow the 3% bounce rate, meaning that we're still going to be able to send out. We're able to send out 1.2 million emails on a daily basis worldwide. You have to verify, you have to constantly enrich that data. How do you do that? You have an internal database where you're able to scrape the entire companies, Apollo, LinkedIn, ZoomInfo, D7, these are the biggest ones, establish into an internal proprietary database, get the information, send it out. So I'm mentioning all that why? We are now creating an entirely new done-for-you system, B2B prospecting outreach that covers all of it. There's nothing out there that exists like that. Every single thing that I mentioned to you is either separate, lead scraping, very well known, emails, very well known, website prospecting doesn't exist, brand new tool, all in one. That's what we're building.
It is so cool to see you so fired up about these solutions because, to your earlier point, Shane, you're doing this for your people. All these people that you wanted to bring along for the ride. You could have taken the easy way out and said, no, I'm good. Like, let's just keep running VA stuff. But you've been seeing the vision of where AI is going, already has gone, and you're like, I can take my team with me on this. And so that's really inspiring for me and Parker as we continue to go down this road of how do we help the people around us. And to your point, you are surely so successful because you have put yourself and your people first and brought everyone along with you. And I'm fired up, man, for these new tools to be launched. You guys are going to make a huge impact. And the coolest part is you had clients before that went to you guys for cheaper, faster, more efficient labor. Now you're making that cheaper, faster, efficient labor even more efficient, where I think you guys are going to be blowing minds with how quickly and affordable you are able to work for your clients. And so, yeah, man, you're going to the moon. I'm excited for you guys.
Me too. I honestly, it's like a new fuel, a new purpose that gets you up.
Yeah.
Like people talk about that entrepreneurship, the mindset that you have. And I think that's like the 2-year lull that I was dealing with. I can't wait to get out of bed and see the troubles that are coming in that I actually get to deal with. I actually have goosebumps right now. Like I'm telling you, when you're building something that you know is just, that's the crazy thing. You only have these like little tiny things, but when you expand on it, these one thing in your life, these opportunities, but when you take it and you run with it, right? I feel like I'm like Elon Musk in the vision, and this is the only part that I'm making that we are on the same page, is that I don't view risk. I look at things just like he's doubled down in every company that he's done with PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla, and now some other crazier companies. But he just goes all in and he doesn't look behind him. It's really crazy, but it's the type of personality. Anyways, it gets me up in the morning. I'm stoked about it. And yeah, it's already live, by the way.
Hell yeah. Well, I can feel it in the way you're talking about it. I know we're ways away from each other. And you the way you talk about your newfound purpose and fuel is so inspiring. And I know when we speak, Sam, to young people about fuel and purpose, they're trying to figure out what's going to get them out of bed, let alone put a foot forward so that they can go make their mark on the world. And at Elevation Nation, we're on a mission to help people craft and put together that purpose into what we call a mental motto. That's a phrase, a quote, a slogan, a way of being that you live your life by. And so, Shane, you are a new elevator. We've asked every single person that's come on the podcast, what's your mental motto?
You know, we ask a similar question as far as, on the 1% podcast. And I feel like with all the people that I talk to, like my answer slightly changes, right? Based off of what they're doing. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah. Oh, a ship is great on water, but that's not its purpose. Oh yeah, that's a really good one. Burn the bridges. I like that. Really what it comes down to though, is the reason why I love entrepreneurship is time, right? It's the freedom to do what you want. And you go down these paths of successes and ups and downs. But at the end of the day, like my wife and my kids are downstairs. Right after here, I can go walk down there, say hi, give them a hug, play Legos with my son, run around and chase my daughter. It comes down to time, right? And I honestly couldn't change the freedom aspect of it. So however we want to phrase it, I'm just going to say time. That's the best part about being an entrepreneur and being myself, is to do whatever I want when I want.
Leverage. Love it.
A little bit better too.
Leverage and time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Shane, appreciate you a ton, my man. It's great catching up as always, and just thank you for being an inspiration to Sam, myself, a bunch of Elevation Nation, and so many other people, hundreds, if not thousands, definitely thousands of people you've inspired along your journey. And we'll be following along and staying in touch, and we cannot wait to see you continue to make the world a better place. All right, Sammy.
Elevation Nation, until next week. Peace.